We all know the NBA is home to the most gifted players in the world, but if you're a young player trying to develop or a basketball fan trying to learn the game, then the NBA might be terrible for you. Reason 1, the NBA is an entertainment business first. Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, flat out told everyone the NBA was a highlight sport. And what's interesting about him saying that is how he didn't say basketball was a highlight sport, he said the NBA was a highlight sport. Almost like he sees the NBA and basketball as two different things. And I could be reaching on that, but that's how I see it. Last season, teams made $408 million per team, with the Warriors leading the NBA with $833 million in revenue, and they were obviously led by a generational superstar in Steph Curry. The NBA's second biggest revenue stream is seating and luxury suites, making up 28% of the total revenue. And guess which team led in this category? That's right, the Golden State Warriors, who made more than $5 million per game from seating and luxury suites alone. This tells you something obvious. Superstars make the NBA a lot of money. These numbers and many more numbers out there like merchandise sales show you why the NBA values superstars so much and why top players have so much power. This is why the NBA caters to the best players in the NBA like SGA, for example. SGA is good at drawing fouls, but it's also pretty obvious that he gets an unfair amount of calls compared to most others, and it's by design. Adam Silver understands that the NBA will make more money if SGA averages over 30 points than if he averages, let's say, 24 points. The more big games SGA has, the more people will tune in on both TV and in person. And the SGA hate only brings them more money, because whether you like SGA or not, you still tune in to either clown him or to watch greatness. The money counts the same either way. So until that money drops, then the SGA flops will continue to happen. The game is altered in a way that allows more scoring because more scoring is entertaining. They allow carrying and traveling because it allows players to do cool moves. And again, like Adam Silver said, the NBA is a highlight sport, so they encourage those things as much as they can, even if it kills the true game of basketball. Now, I say all of this to show you that the NBA's primary focus isn't basketball, it's money. So the game itself is built around how to make more money, not how to make the game of basketball better for the respect of the game. They manipulate and bend rules wherever they see an opportunity to make more money. This is what makes the NBA an entirely different game than basketball at other levels, and the biggest reason why it shouldn't be your number one resource to watch when trying to develop and or learn the game. Reason 2, start focused. I'll keep this short because it plays off of reason 1, but the NBA is extremely star focused. And I'm not saying this is a bad or a good thing, but if you're a young player trying to develop and you turn on a game and see Luka dribble for 20 seconds before shooting a step back 3 while everyone else just stands around and watches, that will give you a false sense of what basketball really is. In the NBA, that happens every other possession for almost every star in the league, and it doesn't happen at other levels, only the NBA. At other levels, you only see that brand of basketball when the shot clock is winding down and you have to make something out of nothing. But in the NBA, you see that with a full 24-second shot clock. Here's my last point for this segment. It's not that these high-level players can't play real basketball. They are the most talented and skilled players on the planet, but they're just simply playing in a league that doesn't prioritize real basketball, so they just adapt. But enough yapping. What league should you watch to develop and or learn the game as a player or fan? I have two answers: EuroLeague and college basketball. Let's start with the EuroLeague. The first reason is because their CEO actually cared about the game of basketball and keeping the game pure while also making the fan experience better. And this makes sense because he was a former player. Former players will tend to care more about the game of basketball than just the money. And it showed during his 3-year stint in the EuroLeague from 2023 to 2026 when he would eventually step down. And FYI, Adam Silver never played basketball at any level, which makes sense because he obviously cares more about money than the game itself. But the EuroLeague's former CEO is now being replaced by another former player. However, he was an old colleague of Adam Silver, so I don't know how this will turn out, because the former CEO was more against Adam Silver and the NBA creating a new league in Europe because he wanted to keep the game mostly about basketball and the fans more than just the money. And he wanted a balance that benefited both sides and not just the NBA. And he stated how the EuroLeague was doing great on its own. But again, the new CEO who was hired in January of 2026 seems to be more open to the idea of coming together with the NBA and creating a league. So we'll see how this turns out. I doubt it will change the brand of basketball in Europe, but it's just something to keep an eye on. But it's the best brand of basketball to watch mainly because the court size is pretty similar to that of middle school, high school, and college courts, which makes it a lot easier for players to visualize themselves on the court while watching games. It's hard doing this while watching the NBA because this type of spacing isn't common at any other level. The gaps are really wide, the paint is almost always open, etc. They also just play better team basketball. When watching an NBA game, it's easy to find out who the star player is because the ball is always in their hands and they're taking 20 shots a game. But with the EuroLeague, it's different. It's harder to tell. That's how college basketball is as well. You obviously want your best players taking the most shots, but they still have to be efficient and within the flow of the offense. In Euro and college, coaches come up with unique sets and actions to get their best players in their spots to get a high percentage look. But in the NBA, they're just like, let's just get the ball to Anthony Edwards and let him go make something out of nothing. And sometimes that works because the NBA players are so damn talented. But those are 1% players, so it doesn't really resonate with everyone else outside of the NBA. In EuroLeague and college, you see the brilliance of the coaching staff and players, but in the NBA, it's mostly the brilliance of just the players. So when looking to learn concepts, actions, and team play, it just makes more sense to watch EuroLeague and college over the NBA. The NBA can be good when studying specific things or players, like studying how Alex Caruso guards ball screens or how Rudy Gobert sets screens. But other than that, you get the all-in-one when watching EuroLeague and college, so do that.